All right, let's talk December homeschool recap and January plans. Hi, I am Rachel from 7 and All. I am a homeschool mom to 3. I love to talk about nerdy homeschool topics here on YouTube. So let's get started. Looking back on December, we had a very festive December. Last year, I had a baby in the middle of December, so we didn't go to anything, pretty much. I pretty much just stayed home, cuddled with my newborn, recovered, confinement, all of that. That was a beautiful December. But this year, it felt like we went to all the parties, all the staff parties, neighborhood parties. We went to all the church services. We were doing all the Christmas things, and it was a lot of fun. At one neighborhood Christmas party, I'm just watching my boys playing freeze tag with all of their friends. By the way, we live in a tropical climate, so it is very hot and summery. So my boys are playing freeze tag with a whole bunch of neighborhood kids all outside in a green grassy field. And I'm just thinking and reflecting to myself, man, my kids have so many friends and they have so much fun playing with their friends. And just on this reflection, that's something I definitely do not take for granted as a homeschool mom, because I know that this is something many homeschoolers are concerned about, and many people who just meet homeschoolers are concerned about, like, how are your kids going to get any friends? And you don't know. You don't necessarily know when you start the journey. How are my kids going to make friends? We don't know the future. But this is something I truly don't take for granted when I look at it and I see my boys just running around, having the time of their lives, playing freeze tag with friends. That's something I'm grateful for. And then my son came back from that party and told me, Mom, I want to have 8 brothers so that I can just play freeze tag with all of them. And I'm like, that's a lot of brothers. For the month of December, I had shared plans of what we were going to do for Christmas school, and we had a blast with Christmas school. We read through The Little Christmas Carol, and just for future reference, if you're considering this book for next December or a future December with your kids, do know that the text of this is very close to the original Christmas Carol. It was actually less simplified than I was expecting. The main changes seem to be more like reference to these characters being animals, chipmunks or lions or rabbits or so on. So Scrooge is a rabbit there. But the actual text is very, very, very close to the original Charles Dickens. This is not a much simplified story. But it went really great. My oldest was especially into it. I mean, the ghost spirits of Christmas past and present, those can be, and future, those can be a little intense. It can be a bit of an intense story for small kids, but I think it was great. And we did finish off, after we finished watching this, we did watch the Muppet version of the Christmas Carol, which is very well done. So this was altogether a great experience for our Christmas school. We also made a lot of Christmas crafts. My boys were a little bit disappointed with me because I did not get a gingerbread house kit for them this year. I looked for one, but where we live, it's pretty rare to be able to find one. There was one year that I found really cute little gingerbread house kits. I think that was 2 years ago. This year I didn't see any. My mom said she saw some that were like $50 in the store, and she's like, no, that's not worth it. But my sister had the idea of making little cardboard houses that were painted brown and just decorating them with ribbons and sequins and pom-poms and the like. So they did get to have their gingerbread house village making experience, even if it was not with gingerbread. A few months ago, I gave an update how we've really focused in on learning how to sing with my boys and really learning how to sing hymns instead of just listening to them. So this Christmas, we did focus on them learning to sing a couple of Christmas hymns in English as well as in Spanish. So in Spanish, we learned La Primera Navidad, which is the first Noel, as well as Noche de Paz, Silent Night. And I just have to share a very, very happy bilingual parenting moment. So after learning La Primera Navidad, my husband was calling his parents, and my oldest son voluntarily offered to sing La Primera Navidad to his abuelos over the video call. He sang the whole song beautifully, and Like I wasn't doing this, but internally I was like fist pumping, like, ah. I'm like, yes. The years of work and the years of foundation and weeks of practice and learning and teaching, it just felt like a huge win to see my son just actually singing this Christmas hymn in Spanish to his abuelos. Like, yes. So just thankful and happy to start seeing the fruit of this work in bilingual parenting and in including a language that is my second language into teaching and learning with my kids. So I had to share that very, very happy moment and little moment of winning. Well, the work is not done. There's a lot of work to do in learning a language, but that was progress. We did have my sister and her young children staying with us during Christmas break for a few weeks in December, and my boys loved having their little cousins to just love on. She has a baby, and so once again, my boys were trying to cuddle the baby. They were trying to say, hey, can we just keep this baby? Could we trade babies? They need to perhaps have a little bit more loyalty to their baby brother, but they did really love their little baby girl cousin. And then on Christmas, one of the huge hits was actually reusable water balloons, which connect with magnets. So after Christmas, opening presents, fancy Christmas breakfast with my mom and dad, all the little boys, my little boys and their cousin, were all out in the yard just having a blast, throwing water balloons at each other. And I am from Michigan. I'm used to cold weather Christmases, so I was reflecting on, what a perfect tropical Christmas memory this is literally having a water balloon fight with your cousins on Christmas Day. And that's pretty awesome. It was also very awesome to me that they were not traditional water balloons, that I had to tie 500 water balloons for them to throw at each other. So these have definitely been a win, and I think will continue to be so. They can just put them in a bucket of water, fill them up, throw them, and do it all over again. I got a new mystery book to read, Murder Mystery. Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret. So I have not started this yet. It's a little bit always hard to make time to sit down and read a book, but I'm so looking forward to diving into this. Maybe by the time this video has come out, I will have read it and got a bookmark. This is one my sister painted, which is our family in the form of cats. Super cute. But yeah, so that was Christmas fun. Always got to get books for Christmas. Did you get a book for Christmas? I feel like that's pretty much the best Christmas present ever. Now, as far as homeschool planning for January goes, we will be having more visitors in January. My aunt and my cousin, who are also from a homeschool family, are coming to stay with us for a little bit. We're so excited to have them and have them join our lives here for a little while. Also, Lunar New Year will be coming up relatively soon. So life will continue to contain festivities. But as my husband goes back to work in January, we are planning on going back to our school routine. For a lot of our school routine, we're just going to be keeping rolling along with what we were already doing in November. So if you're new here, I have a first grader as well as a pre-K son as well as the toddler. And for my first grader, we're using Gentle and Classical Sequence 1 for our core literature-based learning. And then for my youngest, his is the curriculum that's actually going to be changing because he turned 5 close to the end of the year. And I have found with him, last year as well as this year, it tends to be around January where I start noticing he's definitely feeling a lot more ready for kind of moving up in level a little bit. So we are going to be starting some of his kindergarten level work now because I don't think I need to arbitrarily wait till August to start specific new curriculum or to start new routines. I will more start them as he's ready for them. So I will be sharing a complete kindergarten curriculum picks video pretty shortly, probably within the next month or so, to share the full picture of what we're using for kindergarten, some of which we will be starting later, more toward the official beginning of kindergarten, and some of which we will be starting right now in January. I'm just going to share some of the things that we will be starting and adding into his school routine this January. He's already using Math with Confidence. He's already doing All About Reading. That has been the core of his sit-down schoolwork. He basically just does Math with Confidence, All About Reading, and he does handwriting. So he's had a pretty simple routine. We're going to be adding just a little bit and gently leveling it up because he's definitely ready for more. So one thing we're going to be adding in will be llamitas, level 1. And he loves cute things. He is definitely the kid who appreciates the cute animal pictures in his workbook and stuff. So he's gonna like this. We're gonna be able to learn the songs, learn the vocabulary. This is, I think, 72 lessons. Yeah, 72 lessons for one level. So this is not something where I'm trying to do a new lesson every single day. He is a beginner reader in English. I have not yet done any reading or phonics work in Spanish with him as yet. So we're gonna use llamitas to help us get started. And they're starting with the classic syllables, ma, me, mi, mo, mu, pa, pe, pi, po, pu. So we're gonna be starting our Spanish reading journey. I do think we'll take extra time reviewing with this, you know. Now I'm getting a little more confident in my Spanish phonics teaching skills. So now I know we can review this, we can practice this. I can say mo and have you point to the mo. Like kind of, I feel a little bit more confident in my ways of teaching Spanish phonics with this child, and hopefully the added practice that I've had from my firstborn will help with my second son. And the second new thing that I will be adding to his routine is something very special to me indeed, which is the Curious Kinder. And that is the literature-based kindergarten curriculum that I wrote. And this covers Bible, memory work, social emotional learning, nature, literature, and poetry, as well as some practical life skills. And it's doing it all through reading books, as well as having fun activity pages that coordinate with the books you're reading. So this curriculum was basically written with this child in mind, and I am so excited that he is now old enough and he is now ready. We're going to be starting this. So in the very first week, we are going to be reading such great books as The Storm, which is a short chapter book by Cynthia Ryland, Over and Under the Waves, and Hello Lighthouse. I love the book list for this curriculum. You can see the complete book list if you download the free sample of the Curious Kinder. I love the book list. I love that this was specifically designed to be easy to use. And I think the activities are going to be so fun. There's not like a ton of activities. I'm not giving you a book and then giving you 10 activities to do with this book so that we're beating this book to death. No, that's not how I roll. That's not how my homeschool rolls. I just give you a little bit of activities, just a little bit of extra fun to help bring the book to life, to help make it memorable, to help bring out, you know, good learning from it without being exhausting or being like, this is too much, we're never gonna do all this. I try to give you just enough. So I'm gonna be doing this with my youngest, and I actually decided to get a second student book printed because I think my oldest is gonna want to join us. And I think even though a lot of this will be relatively easy for him, I think it'll be beneficial. And I think it'll be it won't really be something academically challenging for him by any means, but I think it will be beneficial for him to join in. So I am printing that second student book to add it for my oldest as well. And then one more new thing that I'm doing with my youngest is, it's actually not completely new because we already do this. We already have been giving him a little drawing lesson or a little opportunity to draw as part of his school day every day. He really shows a lot of interest in drawing. What I'm changing is we're now going to be doing his drawing in a sketchbook. Up until now, it's been on basically scrap paper, you know, the backs of printed pages, and we haven't been saving his drawings. But with how much interest he has, how much talent, natural talent he seems to have in drawing, I've decided I want to take it up a notch, get him his own sketchbook, and as we're doing our daily drawings, just, you know, go to the next page and be able to save it and to really see more of his progression with drawing, have him be able to go back and look at his old drawings. So this is a new addition for my 5-year-old, is getting him a real sketchbook to use. And he opened this for Christmas and he was feeling the paper and he's asking me, is this art paper? He has an artist aunt, so he's learned a little bit about paper and stuff. I would not say that this is actually special paper, but you know, it's not scrap paper from the printer. So in that case, it is art paper. So yeah, that's my main plan. It's really just my 5-year-old who's going to be having some changes and leveling up a little bit in his homeschool beginning this month. For my oldest, we're basically rolling right along. Everything has been going very well with his mastery, just continuing to challenge him. I am going to start having to think about new levels in some areas relatively soon, but I don't need to think about that this month. We're not there quite yet. That will be a problem for the future. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.